So let's find out what it's like being a member of Transformation HQ and winning the £500 cash prize. So I'm here with Charlotte. So Charlotte, tell me a little about your journey so far.
Yeah, so my name's Charlotte. I'm a member at Glossop Transformation HQ. I've been there since March last year, so nearly a year now. And in that time, I've probably lost around, because it's quite difficult with the fat loss and muscle gain, but I've dropped around about a stone.
What sort of, how's your clothes sizes? How have they changed?
I've dropped around about 1 to 2 sizes.
Yep.
Everything's a bit more comfortable now rather than stretched,
Yep.
so that's always a benefit. And generally I just feel much better in myself. I've got a lot more definition in my legs, especially my calves, my arms.
Yeah.
Starting to see glimmers, I say distant glimmers of abs, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, all around, really good.
Yeah. What was your first changes? Was it weight loss? Was it your clothes changing? Or what did you first? Did you feel yourself getting stronger? Was that the initial things?
Yeah, so chest press for me, I've always been very weak in my shoulders. I can dislocate my shoulders even in my sleep, so it's quite risky for me half the time. But yeah, I can now chest press 20 kilograms. So at the start I was about 10, so it's a massive gain.
Yeah. So what were your main struggles before you started HQ?
Food was a big struggle for me. Just being consistent. So previously I've done like a massive calorie drop, which just isn't sustainable. Obviously you get big wins to start off with, and then you're just really hungry. So that's been quite difficult. And also just being on my own in the gym has been quite difficult, because I am able to lift quite heavy weights, but again, with my other injuries and issues, it's the form and doing it slowly, whereas Jamie and Ryan at the gym, they notice how I'm working and whether to up that weight or to lower it. So I'm always at a weight where I'm
capable of, but
Yeah.
also not going to risk injury as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
exactly.
It's smart training, isn't it? Because some people think that you don't want to lift too heavy and go too intense, but you also want to do it correctly so you actually get the results from it, really.
Yeah.
And that's really the advantage of hiring a personal trainer as well, so you can
Yeah.
make sure that you do it in that regard. Yeah, that's brilliant. So what made you choose Transformation HQ as a gym to help you?
So when I went into meet Jamie as like the first initial meeting, it was more his attitude. So he's quite a relaxed guy, which is my kind of person. He's not, in your face, like trying to force feed you sales and stuff. Because I mean, I've worked in sales and I don't, I know how that works. And he was very much like, this is what we can do. You've just got to be consistent about it. And yeah, I'd say he probably sold it to me more than the gym itself.
Yeah, brilliant. So, what was your short-term win? So what did you achieve in the first few weeks, and then what did you achieve in the first few months? How did your results progress?
So the first few weeks, I'd say I lost quite a bit of weight first few weeks. And then over the period of the months, I could see that muscle definition come in and the strength come in. And I was able to get out running as well, which is something I haven't really done much of because I've got a hip issue, but I could feel my hip getting stronger, so I kind of tested it a bit. It's going well.
So, did you see, when did you feel like your mindset changed? Did you feel like, because I presume when you first started, you was a bit sort of sceptical, is this going to work? Are you actually going to progress? When did you really start to see things, actually, what, weight training is something that's going to really help you?
I'd say probably a couple of months in, once I started getting consistent with it. And like the strength rounds and stuff, they're really good to see how you're benefiting and how you're increasing your strength, and seeing how you can lift more and more weight like each week or as months goes by. So yes, I'd say probably about 2 months.
Yeah, brilliant. So how's your sort of outlook on fitness and life changed since starting HQ?
My outlook on fitness is it's a necessity.
Was that before you joined, or was that because you've got good results, or is it something that's always...
It was something that I thought of before. Again, with my injuries, it's something that I feel I need as a person. Mentally, it keeps me from being angry. It's quite like a nice outlet. And then even just like strength wise, this is like the first winter now where I'm not on crutches, which is a massive thing for me, because normally you'd see me walking down the street limping and everyone would be like, you know, what's wrong with you? Whereas this year, I think I've only had like 2 short spells of limping, which again, like I say, it's massive. I mean, I went to my consultant about my hip and he was astonished that I could walk. He was like, I'm surprised you're not on crutches all the time because of the hip dysplasia. So yeah, so he was like, I don't know how you're doing it, but keep doing it.
Yeah. Would you say that your sort of view on like sort of your hip now, and you feel like that's not going to hold you back now because you understand, obviously it's going to, you know, it's going to affect certain things, but you feel like you know you can get results because you're in a well-coached program, it's a well-supported program, and that's not sort of something that's going to stop you from achieving your goals anymore?
No, I know what my limits are. Absolutely. And I know where I can test them. I know things that I definitely can't do, which is a very small pool of things now. And I don't see why, you know, even the fact that I need a new hip, I don't see why I can't get abs. I don't see why I can't run a marathon. You know, if I just be consistent with everything, I don't see why it can't happen.
And I think that's life-changing, because a lot of people do sort of sometimes end up in certain programs or certain gym routines that they can't do because they've got certain injuries, and there's sort of no way to sort of navigate that, really.
Yeah, so. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't try to do things because it is, you know, it can be painful. And I think it is just pushing through that barrier and just trusting that it will work. Yeah,
and if you have got roadblocks, which was my next question, it's going to, you know, these are things that we can sort of learn to navigate around. So other than your hip, what other roadblocks that you mentioned? Food was something that was quite a little bit of a struggle to get your head around.
Yeah, so I really like food, which I'm sure most people do. You know, I've got a really bad sweet tooth. And it's just understanding that, you know, your protein is like your main thing that you need to focus on. And other bits, you know, it's not like you eat a pack of biscuits or whatever the day before and, you know, the guy's asking you how your diet's going. You're not shamed because you've had a pack of biscuits. It's like, fair enough, everyone likes biscuits, but, you know, don't let it be a habit. And just continue on. You know, everyone can eat things that they're not supposed to every now and again.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that education of understanding calories and understanding macrobalance as well. So that if you do have something, it's quite easy just to maybe train a little bit harder, move a little bit more, and eat a little bit less the next day. It's not that I've had that, right, well, I might as well finish the week off.
Yeah, it's not a snowball. Yeah,
absolutely. So how did you find the 6-week program specifically?
Yeah, really good. Like I say, so to start off with, you know, you get, it's like from food wise, it's just basic, you know, it's a broad range that you're allowed, like breakfast, lunch and dinner, and nice and structured. And because like you starting like a fresh month, everyone's like starting that fresh month with you. So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, brilliant. So how did you find after the 6 weeks, like obviously, what was your intention? Did you start, right, I'm going to do the 6 weeks, see how I feel, and then how did you find stay on after the 6 weeks?
Yeah, I thought 6 weeks, see how I feel, see whether the gym's right for me, and it did. It felt good to me, so I just continued going.
Yeah. And then tell me about the shoot programs where you've obviously achieved the results that you've achieved for the best transformation. How was that program?
Really good. So you start off with like enough calories where you feel it's probably too many calories. So you feel like you're overeating, but that's purely because of the high protein that you're given. So you feel really full. And then as they start to drop away the calories, although you feel hungry, you don't in a way, because it's like a good hunger sort of thing. And like the sessions get more intense and you add more sessions in yourself. I mean, at one point I was coming to the gym in the morning and then I'd go out with the dogs for 10k, then I'd probably go for a run, then I'd go swimming. And I was just like, just keep pushing, like it's fine. And then like when you get to halfway point, you take away the dairy. I'm very much a big consumer of animal products, whether it's meat, dairy, whatever. So I was a bit sceptical as to how that would go in terms of the replacements as well. I think I was more concerned about the replacements on the dairy front and how they would taste. And you know what? There are actually some decent replacements out there, which I wouldn't have believed. And the benefits of just cutting out that dairy for 6 weeks, I was astonished.
Yeah, brilliant. So there's 2 points there, just so people understand, like we cut out dairy just because some people may be okay with dairy, but if we're doing a photo shoot to look good in front of a picture, we just cut out dairy just in case you get any sort of inflammation around the stomach area or anything like that. We just blow it up a little bit, and on the day and the picture doesn't look as good, we just cut it out as a precautionary. But that's our main thing. But what you pointed out, which I thought was really good, was there's 2 different hunger signals, I think, as well. So you said, like, what you're saying is it's when you're hungry, but it's not that bad. It's because obviously you're eating quality food, you're training well, you then slowly start to bring down. You can feel that, this is actually working, I'm getting good results. So it's trying to be a little bit hungry. You might be a little bit more focused, a little bit concentrated. I think people confuse that other hunger with if they don't exercise, they eat crisp chocolate sweets, biscuits.
That craving, isn't it?
Yeah, and the blood sugar drops up and it drops down, and they crave like all sorts of junk, and then they can't handle that hunger. There's a difference between good quality, being a little bit hungry, on a good nutrition
And it's nice to actually be hungry for a meal.
Yeah.
Like that's what I found the difference. Looking forward to a meal rather than being like, oh, it's meal time. You now eat.
And I think that's one of the key things that people will discover when they do a photo shoot. There's lots of things that you discover about yourself and about food and nutrition and sort of how to get results. And I think that sort of understanding hunger on that level, and again, there's difference between, like you mentioned there, looking forward to a meal and then being starving and ravenous and craving. So I think that's really, really good point. So tell me about the sessions. Tell me about the HQ sessions.
So they're small sessions, like nice intimate sessions. So there's maximum 6 of you, and 6 stations. Those sessions change each month, and so there's like 3 sessions a week, which are different, and then they change every month. And you either move around or you stay in the same one. Staying in the same one's brutal on a 6 a.m. morning, especially this month. But really good, and like time flies like so quickly. So it's like 45 minutes max a session, but you really feel like you've worked hard. Like you don't have to be at the gym for hours on end, to feel that burn. You can literally be there for half an hour and walk out being like, that was enough.
Yeah. Brilliant. So have you found, obviously, with carrying a sort of an injury as well, have you found the sort of coaching in the sessions and sort of working around exercises?
Really good. Like Jamie and Ryan are both mindful of what could potentially hurt, and like if it was a case, so like this month with the Bulgarian box splits, they said, will that be all right for you? Can you do it? If not, you can do this instead or that instead. So there's always alternatives. It's not a case of you have to push yourself to breaking point.
Yeah, brilliant. So tell me about weight training. So how do you find weight training for getting long-term body shape results? Because I know some females are still, it's a lot better these days. The education is a lot better, but there's still a little bit of sort of scarcity about lifting too heavy, or is that
I think to look good, you have to lift weights.
Yeah.
Like it's all well and good losing weight and being thin and having a light number on the scales. I think a lot of people are obsessed with a number on the scales. Myself, I know, I'm above average on heavy as such, but if clothes fit me nicely, if I've got muscle definition, if I've got a shape, because I am a bit of I like to call myself a sausage shape. I don't really have much of a waist or anything, but if I can give myself a waist by making my shoulders bigger, making my glutes bigger, do you know what I mean? I think that's what I would deem now sexy, not stick thin.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree 100%. And obviously there's loads and loads of health benefits, but at the end of the day, we want to look in the mirror and look good, and feel good, and weights definitely will do that as well. So, brilliant. So tell me about the food plan. So what's your diet look like now? How was it going through the food plan?
My diet now, the food plan for the 6-week shoot, or
for the general sort of eating, because obviously the main difference between the 6-week shoot is a little bit more strict to food, isn't it? So tell me about both plans, and tell me about the 6 weeks, and tell me about your diet before, tell me about what it turned to in the 6 weeks, and then tell me what it was like.
My diet before would have been no breakfast. It would have been maybe like a few snacks or like a very late lunch, like 2-3 o'clock. Probably something like a sandwich, or very carb related actually, very limited protein during the day. And then at night it'd be a large meal, I like burgers. I like pizzas. I like all the bad stuff you shouldn't really eat in large volumes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would you say now, though, with that type of diet, that's when you could have uncontrollable hunger and cravings and drop and sugar and things like that?
Yeah, so I wouldn't eat all day, and then by like 2-3 o'clock, I'd be starving, and I'd just eat everything that I could find.
And that's different than just being a little bit hungry for the next meal, isn't it?
Yeah, and then by the evening, obviously I'd cook all the food at home. So I'd then, even though I wasn't particularly hungry, my other half would come home, he'd be hungry, so I'd still have to make him a meal. So I'd be like, well, I'll eat with you. So then I'm eating a lot of food in a short period of time just before going to bed, which obviously doesn't help anyone.
No, and I can see there's a lot of confusion. If you don't really can't really see that cycle, you're out of that cycle now, and then you can understand it now. You're looking in, you can see the issues, can't you? But I suppose when you're in it, it's hard to really see the issues that you're facing.
Because you think you're being good by not eating, but then by just piling on like a couple of 1,000 calories at night, was not going very well. Whereas now, some days I still don't have breakfast because I'm busy or whatever. But if that's the case, then I'll have like a clear whey protein, because at least that I know I've had a bit of protein in the morning, something to feed my body for the rest of like the morning.
You're prepared.
Yeah. I'll always have lunch and I'll always have dinner. I do still have like a yogurt or like a bit of a chocolate treat in the evening, but that's because I've got such a sweet tooth.
Yeah, you've planned it in, you factored it in.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between just having it because you're ravenous and you just quickly, and then difference between actually enjoying it. So I think like you enjoy your meals more, you enjoy snacks more, you enjoy treats more, but it's all a balance because you're feeling good. So yeah, brilliant. Yeah, no, really good answers then. So what would you say to anybody thinking about doing a 6-week program?
I think do it, especially if you're new to weights, or if you're looking for a gym and you don't particularly know what to do. Like I spoke to quite a few girls and they've like asked me, how do you get on? Like we don't really know what we're doing at the gym. I think it's a great starting point for anyone, like whether you're new to weights or whether you're a seasoned weightlifter, because you wouldn't particularly think about doing those exercises in that order either. And it's surprising how when you do like a certain few of the exercises, it's like quite glute dominated, and then you'll get like a little rest by doing chest, but then you're back to glutes, and it really does work those like individual muscles.
Yeah, excellent. Okay guys, so if you are inspired or educated by Charlotte's story, well done for winning the cash prize and the best transformation. So if anyone is inspired, wants to give it a go, just click the link on this video and we'll send you some more information. You can come and have a look around, have a chat, and then decide if the program's for you or not. Okay, take care.